The Suicide Squad is a sequel to 2016's Suicide Squad. This time it is written and directed by James Gunn, and it acts as a sort of sequel slash sort of soft reboot to that 2016 Suicide Squad film. I've said Suicide Squad a lot so far, and I'm going to say even more. The 2016 Suicide Squad film was probably one of the most disappointing films I've ever seen in my life. I remember being super excited for that film, like many other people. The idea of a Suicide Squad film, a much more darker approach to the comic book film, I was super stoked for it, but what we got instead was this absolute trashy comic book movie, unoriginal. We had the big blue light in the sky, we had Cara Delevingne and her weird hip movements, which made her look like one of those wacky inflatable arm flailing dudes that you see at car sale shops. But you knew deep down in the garbage that there was probably potential for something good. I thought the casting for the most part in that film was great, apart from Jared Leto and his weird Ace Ventura Joker performance.
To this handsome hunka hunka.
But you thought, in the right hands, you could probably make something special, and I thought it should have taken a little bit more inspiration by something like the Batman animated film Assault on Arkham. This is a really, really great example of how to make a Suicide Squad film. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend you check it out. So when I heard they were making another Suicide Squad film, this time being written and directed by the Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn, I was super excited. And I am glad to say that I had a blast with the Suicide Squad. It is a million miles better than its predecessor. It certainly has that darker approach to it. It has an R rating, a 15 rating here in the UK. It is bloody. There is no holds bar here with the violence. People are having their heads removed. There's full frontal nudity. People's faces get blown off. Really, really good bloody fun. It does take a slightly more grounded approach. This time the Suicide Squad are having to infiltrate this island that is run by a dictatorship while having to uncover something called Project Star. I feel like the squad themselves are a lot more fleshed out this time round, you know, and that was surprising to me. This is a large cast of people. Some get a little bit more fleshed out than others. I think the one that gets the most fleshing out of the character would actually be the Ratcatcher character. That's someone I wasn't expecting anything from this film, but she was probably my favourite aspect of the whole film. Also, the chemistry in the team is absolutely fantastic. Most notably from Idris Elba and John Cena's characters. They're constantly trying to one-up each other with who has the best kills, who has the best weapon. Really love the chemistry between those two. And you also feel that there are stakes here. With a lot of comic book films, you know, the hero's never really ever going to die. This time that throws everything out the window. The Suicide Squad really lives up to its name. No one is safe here. People die, so don't get too attached to some characters. And that's what I liked about it. You know, you feel like anyone could die at any moment, regardless if they're a big character or not. Really love that aspect of it. In terms of negatives, I would say it does have something that I see a lot in Marvel films, and that's the sort of painfully forced humour. You know, there'll be a really serious scene, someone will die, and someone will make a really shitty one-liner joke. It kind of just sucks out of the immersion a little bit. I could be looking into this a little bit too much. It's just a critic in me. I know you could look at this and maybe you don't have to take it too seriously because it is a comic book film, but it does feel a bit Marvel-y, and I wanted them to maybe detach itself from that sort of humour a little bit more. Also, when you have a cast this big, some people are fleshed out more than others. Like I said, the Ratcatcher character is probably gets the deepest character development. However, I was expecting a little bit more from John Cena's character. After all, he is getting his own TV show after this. But his character Peacemaker, his whole thing is he will stop at nothing to get world peace. He even says this line in the film.
I cherish peace with all my heart. I don't care how many men, women, and children I need to kill to get it.
I would have maybe liked to have seen his motivations just to be a little bit clearer. You never really know why he's so passionate about making peace at no matter what cost, and this often leads to some confrontations within the team. Other than that, I'd say The Suicide Squad is a really fun time, certainly a lot better than that 2016 film, and I'm going to give this Suicide Squad 3.5 stars. Certainly one of the better films we've seen this year. We've been on somewhat of a rough patch at the moment, especially after our previous film, Old. Jesus Christ, that film made me feel old while watching it. God, I never want to watch that again. Jesus! So as always, guys, please like, subscribe, all that cringy shit I don't like saying, and I will see you on the next episode of James Eddy Reviews.